go. Right, we shall wait for a few people to get in the old chat. I've got to, actually, you know what? I can write the board while I'm waiting here. It's 164, isn't it, today? Talks. Might just start putting TT, make it a bit easier. 164. Right, I'll put the goals up in a sec. Wait for a few people to jump in. Oh, I've got Money Mental. I've literally just responded to your merch thing on Insta. We've got George Ross in there, hi there. We've got Pete for Swatchfo Collectibles, and we've got Richard Hale, so a few of the regulars in there. So yeah, Thursday talks today. Sound is quite, is a bit quiet. Right, okay, one sec. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what we can do. I can push this up a bit more. About there. Is that a bit better? Maybe put that on there a bit more. Is that a bit better? I don't know. I think it might have just been a bit lower than I normally have it. It's not very good with the mic setup that I've got because I obviously have to change it from over there to over here. But might be a bit better now. I can always just speak a bit louder. We'll see. I can't change the volume up anymore on OBS than I've currently got it. Hi ads, time to go make a cuppa. Yeah, if you want to. I've got my, yeah, I just said, didn't I, Money Mental? I've got my Ads Robinson Experience t-shirt. Couldn't afford the hoodie. I know, the hoodies, the only thing is, Teespring literally charges like a crazy amount to print them and produce them. So then, for me to make any sort of margin on them, I end up having to charge like a ridiculous amount. It's the same for everyone. Like, if you look at a lot of people on YouTube, they end up charging like crazy amounts for the hoodies. Some people have like charge like 40 quid for a hoodie, which is absolutely ridiculous. But it's just the way it works with Teespring, really, which is a bit of a shame, you know. But at the same time, there's not a lot I can do about it, really. But the t-shirts are a little bit expensive for what they are, but they're not too bad. I think I've got them on for like 15, 16 quid, maybe a bit more, maybe 17 quid or something. So they are a little bit expensive for what they are, but, you know, it's just how it ends up working out. But also, I've got up here, one sec, 20% off the merch. One sec. Let me, oh no, I don't need to go up there, do I? I know where I'm positioned. 20% off the merch. If you use that code, TT Special, there's a link in the description, and then obviously you just need to input that code at the checkout or something, I think it'll be. So yeah, you can get your merch. I'm wearing mine today. I got mine yesterday. I got two different hoodies because I really wanted to wear my own merch. So yeah, anyway, we will get on with the show. So I need to write the goals down, so I don't really know what goals I've got today, but right, so we'll go for 40 likes, shall we? Oh, George, is the sound any better? What is it? Multiple income streams, right? Income. And then just put S. That's about it, innit, really? I think that's about it. I don't think we'll... Well, you know what? I'll put down whatever you want. There we go. Put down that. So whatever you want, you know, whatever questions you've got, we can answer. I'm gonna do a bit of talk on multiple income streams, and we're gonna try for 40 likes today, or you know, by the time next week rolls around. Yeah, sound is a little better. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really do anything on OBS, but I've had this like this for a few weeks now, and I don't know whether anyone's kind of complained about it too much. If you've got speakers, or if you've got a computer, or well, if you've got like speakers, you could always like turn them up to full, because sometimes if you've got your, what happens with me is I have my computer sound mixer, but then I have my speakers, so if one of them's turned lower, it makes it sound lower. So just like maybe have a dial around with both the speakers and the mixer if you've got speakers, but I'm sure you'll have thought of that anyway. But yeah, so we'll have to make do, because I can't, the only thing is I can't put it up here because it's right in the way of the, like, that would sound a lot better, like, where it is there, but look, it's, like, right in the way of the board, so I end up having to have it, like, I can probably do that, but that's about it, and I can't seem to angle this. Oh yeah, I can angle that a bit better. That might be a touch better now, but maybe, I don't know. but we'll have to make do with it. So yeah, with that being said, I'll just click off that and then I can see the chat again. So we've got, who else have we got in there? We've got KLC Reselling, who I already said. Falling Into Space, I don't think I've seen them before, so hi there. Chrissy, one of the regulars. Jamie, I think you've been in the chat a few times before. And then, yeah, I think that's about it. Glad you asked now, George Ross. Yeah, right, that's everyone, cool. So, yeah, without further ado, we shall get on with it. If you have any questions, whack them in the chat now before I get on and start rambling on the board about this topic. I wanted to pose the question, do resellers need like multiple income streams, multiple income sources, or the rest of it? Or is eBay, you know, or just like eBay and Amazon or whatever, is that completely enough? We have a few different things to discuss really here, because if you think of it in the terms of, if you're working, you know, let's say you're putting in, I don't know what, let's say you're putting in 60 hours a week, because a lot of resellers work fairly hard. I'm sure there's others who do more than that as well, but we'll just put 60 hours. You work 60 hours a week, and you know, between eBay and Amazon, in that 60 hours, you can quite comfortably, if you know what you're doing, if you're a reseller, you can quite comfortably make an income from that. You know, you can quite comfortably make a fairly decent income. It doesn't really matter what it is. It could be, you know, some resellers might be able, if they're really good at it and they hone their processes down, could be like 40, 50 grand a year, you know, sort of maximum with one person doing it. Or, you know, if you're just quite happy to, you know, settle for like 20k, 30k or whatever, you could easily do that in 60 hours a week, easy. So it's not really a question of like, do we actually need it in terms of, is eBay and Amazon enough for us? Because we know eBay and Amazon are enough for us. However, we've got to look in the case of, what do we want 20 years down the road? What do we want 10 years down the road? How is our life going to pan out? Or maybe, do we want to work as hard in 20 years time, or 10 years time, or 30 years time? You know, in my case, it's more like 30 or 40 years time. Someone who's a little bit older than me, it might be more like 10 years time, 20 years time. But do we really want to work harder as we get older? Or do we even want to work the same amount as we get older, but because we're a bit older, it feels harder to work like that? And the answer with eBay and Amazon is the fact that you can maintain an income, but as you get older, it's going to be harder, and it's active income, and you will have heard active income a lot, you know, around the sort of, I don't know, personal finance space, I suppose. But this is all active income, so it isn't a question of, you know, can we do it with eBay and Amazon? It's very, very doable. A lot of us can do it quite easily, but it becomes a question of, do we want to, or can we keep doing it for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years? And if you can't do that, or you feel like, you know, or you think that in 20 years time, 30 years time, you might not be able to do it, then you've got to think, right, I need to find some other more sustainable income streams that can go alongside my eBay and my Amazon. And now, this is very dangerous. I'm going to write down very dangerous, because what you get into the trap of is spreading yourself too thin. My God, have I done this? Spread too thin, we'll write. Too is, yeah, it's too like that, innit? I tell you, my grammar's terrible. I never listened in English. I wasn't really a fan of English. But yeah, too like that, isn't it? With two little O's. So, is it? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. So, spread too thin. So you can spread yourself too thin, and then what happens is you end up making a lot less money, because you're not putting your time and your effort into eBay and Amazon, which made you the money. So actually it can be very dangerous trying to go down the route of multiple income streams, because you take that time away from something that's working, that's doing well for you, and then you put it into other things that are, you know, risky ventures or whatever. Then they don't work for you, and you end up coming back to eBay and Amazon and focusing on that again. And I've done this. I've lived this of, you know, spreading myself too thin, doing things that didn't work, doing things that, you know, things that didn't work, things that are ongoing, you know, things that are still ongoing for me and stuff, and that aren't necessarily, you know, a brilliant revenue source or anything for me. So you've got to be careful not to spread yourself too thin. It's what so many people say. So what I always think to myself is like, now these days, is like, how can I have the best of both worlds? And sometimes this is like, how can you have your cake and eat it? You know, so sometimes it doesn't necessarily work. But how can you not spread yourself too thin, but still build an income source for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road? How can you limit the time that you're putting into another venture or another investment or whatever it may be, you know, alongside your reselling, so then you can actually still do your reselling to the best of your ability? Well, you need to find things that, you know, require money. So instead of trading your time, as many people have said, you know, instead of trading your time for income, you know, like reselling, you trade your money, you know. So you say, right, well, I'm going to look into property investing, I'm going to look into property, I'm going to look into crypto, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invest in proof of stake coins, so then they give me a passive income. I'm going to look into, you know, shares, and I'm only going to invest in dividends shares. Now you see what the commonality here is for me. It's anything that gives you an income back. I do, and property investing, I would do renting, so actually getting money back from it. I know there's things around that I'd have to look into and all the rest of it. I've not done it, but ideally that's what I'd like to do. So everything I do, I put my money into them, and I expect a dividend or return every quarter, every day, every month, every year, whatever the time scale may be. I do not invest in anything that will not give me something over time. I won't even invest in like eBay shares or Amazon shares or anything, because they're not dividend shares. I won't invest in, you know, I don't invest in any cryptocurrency that doesn't give me a return. So don't invest in Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything like that, because they're not proof of stake. I only invest in things that will give me a return, because I can use that income to reinvest, so that then in the future I can build up more and more wealth. And then over time, what you'll see, if you can only afford to put, let's say 100 quid, 100 quid a month into one of these things, you know, or something like one of these, then that's more than enough to at least get some of these things started. And you don't even have to, you know, do any more time with this. This is what I've realised, like, hang on a minute, instead of me starting up new ventures that require my time and might not work out and might be horrible, you know, it might just crash and burn, instead, I don't waste any of my time. I focus on my eBay and Amazon, let's say, you know, so focus on your main thing, like eBay and Amazon, so I'll focus on that. That gives me the money. I don't invest £100 a month, but, you know, if you just had £100 a month, that's fine. I focus on the main thing. That then gives me the income, and then, obviously, any bills I have to pay, anything like that, goes out first, and other people will have more bills than me, you know, and some other people might have less bills than me or whatever, but, you know, to pay that off first, make sure that's all done and dusted, and then you have that £100, that £200, that £300, that £500, that £1,000. Obviously, it depends how what you're earning and stuff, or, you know, if you're a reseller, if you're watching this new reseller and you're doing really, really well, you know, then you might have a lot of spare cash lying around, and then you can put that money into one of these things and then start building the wealth that way, and not even have to spend hardly any time doing it, you know? I mean, there's always going to be some sort of time up front, like you have to learn how to register with an account, or you have to learn how to, you know, properly buy these things. There's always going to be a little bit of time, but it's going to be minimal in comparison to starting up a new business or starting up a new project venture that, you know, takes time and effort to build up. So that's what I do these days. I don't do things like, oh, you know what, I'm going to do Amazon merch. I'm going to start up Amazon merch. Yes, it's a great idea. It's a great project. But, you know, me starting Amazon merch took a lot of time out of my business. it ended up not being for me, and then I ended up having to quit it anyway, and you know, I'm back where I started. So you've got to think to yourself, like, if you're doing these projects, if you're doing these side projects, you've got to think, are you spreading yourself too thin, and is it really for you? Like, is it genuinely for you? For me, what's for me personally is actually just doing the eBay and the Amazon, like, as my main business, and then investing on the side to build wealth that way. I have no intention, and I am not deluded in the slightest, that reselling will be my ticket to riches or anything. It is not ever gonna get me rich, reselling. And if I want to be rich, let's say, or I want to have wealth, at least a bit of wealth, I need to do other things that people aren't, you know, that maybe not as many people are doing, or that are, you know, a little bit more high growth, you know, a little bit more high growth, and that can basically more scalable. That's the word, but more scalable, because reselling in its form that I do it in reselling antiques and stuff, it is scalable, to be fair. You could, like, you know, you could buy an antique shop, or you could buy, you know, and then maybe you do really well at antique shop, you go and you buy an antique centre, and then let's say you get recognised by one of the people off Bargain Hunt, and then, you know, and you end up bloody being a dealer on Bargain Hunt and stuff, and before you know it, you know, you're in these big tweed jackets, and you know, you've got elbow patches on, you've got your really cool vintage specs on, and you're valuing someone's Ming vase from 200, well, whatever year that was. I don't know when the Ming dynasty was, but you know what I mean. So it's scalable, but it's just not my scalable. I want scalable as in, like, just digital. I want all my stuff just to be like, right, got my shares, I've got my crypto, I've got, like, or even maybe my property. I don't mind property, because property is a great investment because it's tangible and stuff. But I want everything like that. I don't want scalable in more work, because even if you scale the antiques and collectibles, it's still active income. It's still not, you know, a dividend income or a passive income or anything like that. So yeah, but you've got to think to yourself, with all these different projects, are you spreading yourself too thin? Are you, you know, do you maybe just need to be focusing on what you originally intended to do and nothing more? Like, literally, do you just need to be focusing on eBay or Amazon? And, you know, if you want to do that, then do that. But also, when you're focusing on them, maybe you could have something that is less, not a project, but is more, you know, kind of money orientated in terms of investment, aside from, you know, kind of these new projects that you want to start up. Or if you want to start up new projects, it's not an issue, but you have to think, like, where can I make up these hours? Can I get up earlier than I'm getting up? Like, do you wake up at 8 o'clock? You know, do you want to wake up at 6 o'clock? Is that something you want? Or do you not want to wake up at 6 o'clock? And then if you're not going to wake up at 6 o'clock, where are you going to find the 2 hours a day to do this extra project? Or where are you going to find the extra 3-4 hours a day to do this extra project? So you've got to think to yourself, you know, what are the kind of things, what can I actually do? How can I actually do this? How can I do all the things I want to do, not spread myself too thin? You know, and it's a juggling act. You know, some things I'll have to get left on the sidelines for a little bit while you do other things. And you know, the thing that I've found is that really I want a separate side of my business that is generating revenue for me without me really touching it. Doesn't matter what that is, if it's like $1,000 a year, if it's $5,000 a year, if it's 50 grand a year, you know, depending on how long that'll take, you know. But if it's $1,000 a year, 5 grand, 50 grand, 10 grand, whatever, doesn't matter. I want a side to my business that is that. So that then I can think, right, well, the financial pressure is a little bit alleviated, or I've got some sort of backup that's giving me an income passively. So that means that I can slow down a little bit on my eBay over time, and then I can work on these other projects. And then you won't be spreading yourself too thin, or even if you are spreading yourself too thin, it doesn't matter too much, because you've got a little bit of a financial cushion in your dividend stocks, or your shares, or your crypto, or your property portfolio, whatever it may be. And then you end up thinking, oh, right, now I can do this, 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 and this. And it doesn't matter, because, you know, it doesn't matter necessarily how long this takes to actually set up financially, how long it takes me to actually create some financial wealth from this, because I'm getting a little bit of money elsewhere. Now, of course, I said a minute ago about it doesn't really matter if you're getting 1 grand, 5 grand, 50 grand passive income. To be able to start to do that, do those other projects and alleviate and kind of turn away from your main businesses or whatever, you have to kind of make a bit more than 1k or 5k a year passive income. But you know, even if you were making like 5 grand, 6 grand, 7 grand, it's still a nice little chunk that means you could turn away from something else a little bit more without too much pressure, and then go into another project, maybe a more creative project that you want to do, or a charitable project that you want to do instead. But yeah, so it's very interesting, this multiple income streams, whether resellers actually need it or not, whether it's something people actually need, whether it's something that can massively help people, whether it's something that you know, could actually harm people, because there's things that, you know, if you do this and you're not clued up with it, then you can get yourself into, you know, you can lose a lot of money. And trust me, I've been there, I've done that. I know about losing money. I know about getting involved with things that don't work out and stuff. But I've never lost my motivation for it, and the reason being is because I have this little, I remember this quote. What's the quote? It's a really good quote by, oh, I don't know who it's by, but it's, I think it was Oscar Wilde or something, I'm not sure. But, oh yeah, success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. So it's kind of like ignorance in a way. Success is like ignorance, because you keep going from something that fails to something that fails, but something that fails, but not actually losing that enthusiasm, and quite happily going through life, even though things might be failing on you a lot of the time, being in blissful, I want to say ignorance, but sort of blissful happiness as well, about what you're doing, because you have that much passion for it and stuff. And that quote always sticks by me. It's a bit of a quote that's like that, because you're thinking to yourself, well, is that a helpful quote, or is that kind of like a bit of a stupid quote? You know, it kind of is like that. But I quite like it. You know, success is going from failure to failure without you losing enthusiasm. But it kind of does say to you, or it hints at you, that maybe you shouldn't be going from failure to failure, you know. But you know, that core element of success, I think what it really is saying, truthfully, in deep down in the quote, is that success can be found inside yourself, no matter the external, you know, the external environment, no matter how many things are failing around you, no matter what's going on around you, even if the world's crumbling. If you can just kind of stand there and be happy inside yourself, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, you've found success. You know, the world literally might be crumbling around your feet. Like, literally, there might be some apocalypse going on, and you're still there like, yeah, this is cool, isn't it? Because you're happy inside yourself. You've found success inside yourself, not in the external environment or the way in which, you know, things happen to you. But it's very, very interesting. I think everyone should have multiple income streams, though. That way, if something happens with you, with one, you'll still got another income stream coming in. Yeah, very true, Andrew. I'm gonna end up, you know, my teas are gonna end up going cold. Every episode, you know what I do? I end up drinking. I've said this before actually, but every episode, you know what I end up doing? I end up drinking my cold tea because I've not bloody drank it on air. Property, not passive income, too much maintenance, and try. Yeah, I've heard that. You see, that's why I mentioned about I don't really have that much, you know, I don't have experience in property or anything. But like, I know there's ways you can do it. Like, you can go through like a mortgage, not a mortgage provider, what's it called, like a landlord service or something, where they deal with a lot of the stuff. But yeah, it's one of those things, like, you could, I suppose, invest in property just to invest in it and like do it up and sell it on. I suppose that'd be, I say it wouldn't be easier, it would be harder, but you know, like, you wouldn't have the issues of tenants and maintenance and all the rest of it. So I don't know, that's why I don't like, I know I've just said property is a great investment or everything. I wish it wasn't, because I don't want to invest in property. I don't have much of a desire to invest. Like, I'll invest in it because it's a good investment, but I just wish it wasn't. I wish basically, I wish crypto and property would trade places, like crypto to be the gold standard of investing and property be the shady one, because I believe in crypto that much, and you know, I love crypto that much, but nobody sees it as that gold standard of investment. But it doesn't matter really, because in the end, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So, but yeah, so I'm not too bothered about property. But I just kind of feel the need to like buy property just to kind of have it. You know, it's weird. Ads, there's questions further up the chat. Okay, I will go up further up the chat. I don't believe in passive income. I think every type of income requires some effort to understand it, set it up and maintain it. Well, it's funny you should say that, Andrew, because I'm a little bit deluded with passive income. And what I always think is, right, my crypto is passive income. I always say that, my crypto portfolio, that's passive income. I literally don't do anything. All I do is collect the cryptocurrency that comes in, sell it for money, and then that's it. And that I think to myself, oh, well, that's the closest to passive income you could ever get, right? Brilliant, you know, there's no maintenance. I don't even need to check on it. I could literally just leave it for a year. My dividends in the form of cryptocurrency will be right there, you know, right there in my account, even after a year, 2 years, whatever. And then I just literally send that over to Coinbase, sell it, and then that's it. And then it's in money. It's literally in money, and that's it. But what I don't see, because I don't actually let myself see it, is I spent days, like absolute like days, weeks, months, trying to figure out how to do charts, trying out how to, you know, what is cryptocurrency, what's blockchain, what does it all mean, why is it going to be really good for the world, how is it going to help people, you know, who maybe are struggling for money and stuff, because cryptocurrency can be a good provider in terms of balancing out the whole divide between rich and poor. Whether it actually happens or not is another kind of debate altogether, because, you know, a lot of people would say that's kind of an idealist view in terms of balancing out the rich and poor, and whether, you know, again, whether it actually happens is another story. But I always thought, yeah, that's, you know, that's passive income, but it actually isn't, is it? Because I've done all that upfront work, I've done all that stuff to set it up. I still look at the charts, like I'm still looking at the prices, I'm still looking at the charts, I'm still, you know, analysing it and stuff. Even if I don't need to, I'm still doing it. So I think you are kind of right in that way, but it's very, very hard to get something truly passive. And I would argue, even if you're clicking a button, right, even if, because passive income is basically the definition of, you know, it's kind of like money while you sleep, right? But if you're having to click a button to even get it out to your bank account, then that's not money while you sleep, is it, you know? A lot of people argue that Amazon affiliates, you know, the affiliate links and all that sort of stuff is passive income. Well, you end up having to change your affiliate links every now and then to different products, or you end up having to check in on it just to see if it, you know, what's happening. So it's kind of like, none of this is actually real passive income, you know, it's kind of all active income, but some things are just a lot less active than others, you know. So yeah, I kind of agree with you there, and I know there's a lot more that is, you know, also that is kind of like, I don't know, so some things are like say they're passive, you know, say they're kind of passive income when they're actually not, or people think they're passive income when they're actually not. But I mean, I suppose if you've got that initial setup done, it kind of feels more like passive income. But yeah, it's like, you're still going to have to click something. You're still going to have to, like, the definition of true passive income would be literally, once you've set it up, like, you literally just set it up, it goes automatically to your bank, so you don't need to click anything, and then it can basically maintain itself. Like, there's computer systems or there's programs set up in place to maintain itself as well. That would be true, like, passive income for you. Maybe in the case of ebooks, but I don't know whether that money goes directly to your bank. If that goes to a holding account that you end up having to go in and click the button and take it out and all that, then it's not true passive income because you've had to at least click that button, you know. But yeah, so I don't know. And also, you've still got to check in on your ebook. Like, you might have to do a bit of promotion for it every now and then and stuff. So yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? But passive income, is it really passive income? I don't think there's any more questions. I can't see. Another question adds, how have your March sales been? They've been okay. Yesterday, was it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday yesterday. I did like, was it yesterday that I did? Yeah, I did like 130 quid yesterday. But then the day before was pretty poor. I think it was like 50 or 60, maybe even 40 odd. But it was something like that anyway. So up and down, but some days have been doing better for me because I've been listing more consistently recently. So I've been doing listing pretty much every day. I had a day off yesterday, but other than that, for the last 10 days or so, I've been listing pretty solidly. So I am actually attributing it down to the consistency. I would definitely say that eBay, you need to be consistent these days. You didn't have to be as consistent like you know, a few years ago. It didn't seem like a couple of years ago. You didn't seem to, if you listed like 50 in a week, but you listed all 50 on one day, you'd still get like, I wouldn't say you'd still get really consistent sales, but you'd get it feels like you'd get a bit more consistent sales back then than if you listed 50 in one day now compared to listing, you know, 10 a day for 5 days. It seems like listing 10 a day for 5 days is a lot more better in eBay's eyes, because I think we must like just like it, you know. eBay likes the consistency, and they end up, I don't know what they do, whether they end up promoting your store more or whatever, or make more people see your store, if that's even a theory out there, or whether it is just literally a coincidence and that, you know, it's not anything to do with that at all, and it's just the fact that I'm thinking it's to do with the consistency and it's not. But I don't know. But yeah, March sales have been pretty good. I don't think there's any more questions in the chat. You need a heated mug warmer for your tea. A candle warmer type thing works too. Oh yeah, I've not had a like. I mean, I've had like a oh, what do we call them? Like thermos flask type things. I've had them before, but I think, I don't know, I kind of just not used them, you know, like I used them for a little bit and then just gave up on them. I don't know, it's kind of like I suppose it's great for people who, you know, go out the door to jobs like really quickly and stuff. I see a lot of people like that who have the thermos things, and also like if you're down at the car boots or something, that'd be good. But I suppose I don't really bother because I'm in the house so much, you know, like it doesn't necessarily need to be warmed up completely, but I definitely need it for Thursday talks. Are YouTubers damaging the reselling business by sharing your intimate knowledge? Are you not creating a problem? I've noticed charity shops pricing up a lot and a lot more resellers. Well, I'll say something about that. If we take the reselling YouTube scene, right, and we say they are damaging the you know, they are damaging the eBay prices or whatever, which I actually do now believe they are, after a lot of like back and forth and stuff, we could say that, yeah, but then let's just say by some miracle we all convince myself, you know, people who don't want YouTube resellers anymore, manage to convince myself, Nick, you know, Caroline, Mrs. M, whoever else, Sparrow's End, Mel, every UK reseller on YouTube, you all convince, you know, people all convince us to stop making videos. Guess what'll happen? Guess what'll happen, right? About 10 more people will pop up anyway, right? Because I realised there's no way in hell you're stopping this now. The YouTube thing has been blown off. People are going to make videos. I don't get a lot of money from AdSense, but I sure as hell would rather get that money than someone replace me, you know, like another young guy or whatever coming up like, oh yeah, I can do this because I can make money. I'm like, yeah, you're not doing it because I'm bloody doing it. I'm getting my, you know, 50 quid or 60 quid or whatever from it. And that's how I feel, you know, so I'm not stopping making videos, and I never will, because I don't want someone else replacing me, because that's what'll happen, you know. If I go away, someone else will come up. And I know they're not necessarily replacing me, because we're all unique and everything, and my style on YouTube has been very, very unique and very different. So it's not like they're directly replacing me. It's not like they're going to be a carbon copy of me or anything. But what I'm trying to get at is the fact that we've come too far down this road now. So even if every reseller that's currently doing YouTube were to just shut up shop and stop doing YouTube, but still obviously continue with the reselling, you just get more and more resellers coming through on YouTube anyway, because they see the opportunity. You see, YouTube is an opportunity just like eBay. It's not, you know, the opportunities are on eBay, of course, but the opportunities for resellers are also here on YouTube, because if they get to that 1,000 subscribers, they can make a bit of money, they can maybe set up other things in the pipeline, and maybe do some, you know, collaborations with people, they can maybe sell merch, they can do all this other stuff. So it's not a case of whether it's damaging the eBay ecosystem or the reselling ecosystem anymore. It's a case that there was opportunity there on YouTube, there still is, and people, especially resellers, because we've got a business mindset, are going to take that opportunity, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, kind of thing. That's the issue, but the can is open now, you know, that's like I just said, you know, the can is open, the worms have come out, and it sounds a bit weird that, but you know, the worms have come out of the can, or whatever the saying is, I don't know, it's like a can of worms, you know, all the rest of it, and that's that, you know. But I do think that maybe some charity shops watch like Nick's videos or whatever, and maybe they've got a little bit more clued up. I don't know, or I'm guessing that because Goodwill over in America started watching Craigslist hunters videos, didn't they, and started pricing and stuff based on that, or they did something based on that anyway. So you know, I think that might be the case, but also not even that. Let's say they don't watch them or anything. I think that charity shop managers are just more clued up generally on eBay, so it's going to happen anyway. Let's say you just got rid of YouTube altogether, right? Just YouTube altogether. No reselling information on YouTube, whatever. Charity shop managers are still there's still going to be ones among them who are going to know to go on eBay to check what the value of the item is and price it pretty high, you know? But I do agree with you in the sense that, you know, I think it has what's the word, exacerbated the problem, you know, like kind of enhanced it a little bit and made even more, you know, charity shops and stuff aware of it, and then they're pricing higher. The only thing I could say to you is that you need to look out for your own business. So this is what I'm talking about today. This is why I'm talking about it. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Multiple income streams. I set up a YouTube channel. I do investing because I'm not tied. In 10 years time, I don't want any of my serious income coming from reselling. I just want to be, you know, 100 items on eBay, doing it for fun, and I want all my serious income to come from either passive income or, you know, a personal brand or something else, and then I can just do eBay for fun. I don't have the intention to get 5,000 items on eBay or 10,000 items on eBay and do it, you know, to the moon or anything. I want to actually do eBay for fun because I love eBay, I love doing it, I love doing Amazon as well, but I don't want it to kill me. I don't want to be in this rat race of doing 12-hour days every day on eBay or Amazon. I want to have some sustainability, and I want to create some sort of wealth that, you know, if I need to take some time off, or if I want to take some time off, I can do that, you know, and I'll still quite happily do videos on YouTube and stuff, quite happily share my reselling journey, but it'll just be for fun, you know, like I'll do eBay for, like, you know, I'd say 100, 200 items on eBay. I love it with all my heart still. I'll probably even stop doing like £10 items and just look out for like 30 to 50 pound, well, 30 pound items plus even, and really build up like a small store, but that's really, really high-end items. And that might be the best thing I ever do, because I might end up earning even more money with reselling than I currently do, because I've not got as financial pressure from reselling that I need, but that gives me the motivation to really go for it, because I'm like, well, if I do it or I don't do it, it doesn't matter. So that in itself can be a motivator for me, and think, well, I'm gonna smash it, you know. So there's all these different things, but I would say look out for yourself, build the income, build multiple income streams, do it for yourself. No one's going to hold your hand, no one's going to help you, and then you'll be fine, as long as you always look out for yourself. And, you know, it doesn't mean you're not kind to other people or anything. You can be kind to other people, and, you know, if they've got some questions, you know, help answer them. But, you know, ultimately, you've got to do it on your own. So I would not like it if, let's say, eBay was my only income stream, because if, you know, eBay can shut you down tomorrow if they want to, and what are you going to do if they do that? You know, if you've not got any other income sources, you've not had the foresight to build up other things on the side, then you're not going to be happy, and you won't have an income. Because I've realized that in entrepreneurship, which I don't really class myself as an entrepreneur, by the way, but let's say in business, I've realized that you have to have backups, because if someone can take it, basically, if one organization, if the demise of one organization or one person means the death of your business, you are not doing well. You are not doing well. You need to spread your risk between a lot of different things, and then you'll be happy. Then you'll be like, right, you know what? If that goes down, I'm still cool. If that goes down, I'm still cool. If that goes down, I'm still cool, you know? And also putting yourself into a position where you can be more of an authority. Like, for example, like you know, PewDiePie and all the rest of it. He has brands coming to him to sponsor him. He doesn't go off to brands. You know, he didn't go, oh yeah, please, could I have a sponsorship with you? He doesn't do that. He literally, all the brands come to him and he filters through them. And he'll say, right, well, you know, I think I'll do this one. I don't like that one. I'll do this one, etc. That's what you want to put yourself in. You want to put yourself in a position of not being expendable, you know, in business. That's where you want to get to. And that's where I want to get to. I want to get to the position of having my own wealth built up so that then no matter who turns around and says anything to me, I can say, piss off. I'm financially independent. I'm financially free. If you want to be my friend, brilliant. You know, I'll help you become financially free like me. But, you know, if you're going to be a dick, sorry, that's it. And by the way, I'm not, like, personally attacking you. I'm just saying generally. I'm just saying in general context here. And sometimes you do have to be a bit brash. You do have to be a bit bold like that. You know, and that's how it is, you know, sometimes in business. But I've definitely realised that I kind of just need to kind of go a little bit harder, you know, go a little bit harder essentially. But anyway, we'll see what's down in the chat. Hi ads and chat. Oh, DBG's in. Hi there, DBG. Trust me, there is still money to be made from charity shops. Some places are just happy to get rid of stuff and stuff. What's that? And out just as quick. I have had some great pickups. Yeah, but oh yes, charity shops are still good. It doesn't really matter. Even, like, honestly, I don't think that even if, like, I mean, maybe if, you know, Nick were to get to like 500,000 subs, maybe, you know, that would mean that, yeah, it's done. Like, that charity shops are done. Like, there's far too much competition. But even so, I think a large portion of those people would just watch for entertainment. So it's kind of like, well, I don't know. It's an oh, Paul said, Phil, is that Phil? Yeah, Phil says, it's an interesting debate, ads. I wasn't criticising YouTubers so much as looking at the wider content. Yeah, I know, but I was just trying to kind of outline my opinions on it, because I watched the video that Ken Chapman did, because Ken Chapman's back on YouTube. I watched a video about him, I think he was talking about YouTube resales and stuff, and you know, I mean, I changed my opinion on YouTube resales before I watched that video. I've been thinking for a while about how it probably is harming the reselling environment, but I think that you know, like, when I watched that video, I kind of formulated even stronger opinions on it, and I'm just kind of glad that you said that, because I wanted to, you probably saw, I had a lot of passion for that. I wanted to get that out, because, you know, I do feel that in some cases, YouTube resellers are harming the eBay environment, but at the same time, in seeing that, I've realised that, hang on a minute, I can't depend just solely on eBay for my income. You know, if other people can influence a market in a certain way, maybe it's a dramatic way, maybe it's even just a small way, but if they can impact a market that then, like, direct, or sort of indirectly, but kind of directly as well, impacts me, then I've really got to kind of think, right, I've got to get some different things in the game here. I've got to get some different things that I'm doing to make sure that I've spread my income around various different things. But it is very, very interesting. It's an interesting debate. It's whether, what I'd really like to find out, as I just mentioned, is whether charity shops, like some charity shop managers, actually watch Nick's videos. Now, I know there's a few charity shop managers that I actually know pretty well that actually, well, they don't watch my videos, but they kind of have watched a couple of my videos, not to find out any information or anything. It's just, I know them well now. They're, like, pretty good friends. And you know, some of them hold stuff back for me and stuff as well, because we're pretty good friends, kind of thing. But we kind of just watch for entertainment, really. But I want to know whether there's charity shop managers out there that actually watch, doing like a bit of recon, trying to fit, oh, that goes for X on eBay, so I bet I could get, 75% of that in my charity shop. But here's the funny thing, actually. I did a video yesterday. It's funny we've come on to this topic. I did a video yesterday about charity shops and the pros and cons of going to charity shops these days. So that's not going to come out till May, because I've told you I've got so many videos scheduled. Like, you guys are in for a real treat. Well, maybe the newer resellers among you, the more experienced resellers, maybe not so. But if you are a new reseller, you will want to stick around. You will want to. Oh no, it's not even up there. It's not even up there anymore. Yeah, I was gonna say you will want to hit the bell, but it's not even up there. But yeah, if you're a new reseller, you want to subscribe, you want to stick around, because I've got a lot of good content, like really good, high quality content coming in the next few months. eBay courses, all the rest of it, really, really good stuff. And it's interesting that we mentioned about the charity shop thing, and that kind of, and I done that pros and cons video yesterday, but as I say, that'll be coming out. But yeah, I lost my train of thought for a minute there, but yeah, so over the next few months, I've got so much coming out. As I say, I've got videos scheduled till May, so you'll have a lot of decent stuff coming out. There's also, I've tried to separate the courses out, because I don't want like my regulars, who just stick around for the hauls and the sales updates. I don't want them becoming alienated. So when you see a course come out, what I've done is every time a course comes out, the next video will either be a sales update or a charity shop haul. I think there might be one little week where I've got 2 courses coming out in 1 week. I think I might have done that. But generally, I've tried to separate the courses out by at least a week, so that then, my regulars can still get a bit of the other content. But even if you're a regular, there is a couple of courses that are coming out that there's one that's coming out that I put a lot of time and effort into. Well, it was actually last summer that I did them, but I've now I've just kind of slightly re-edited them just for the YouTube audience. But yeah, there's one coming out which will be end of May, early June, that is an eBay survival guide, and I've broken down all about the defect system, all about communicating on eBay effectively with buyers, all about eBay feedback, all about eBay bans and restrictions and everything, and I've gone into a bit of detail in them. And that might be even good for the more experienced resellers among you, because you might find out a few bits of information about how to survive on eBay in terms of the defects and the banned items and stuff that you might not have known anyway, even though you are experienced. So yeah, there's a lot of decent information coming out in those. But if you are an existing reseller, there's a course coming out, how to list an item on eBay. And there's a few other like more beginner courses that you won't really want to bother with, but still, there's a lot of good information coming out. It's survival of the fittest in this game. Yeah, it really is. It really is. And it's weird, because there's 2 sides to reselling. There's this really nice side, right, that we can see in the Instagram and we can see on Facebook, where everyone's really, really pally and really, really chummy. And I think Ken Chapman actually alluded to this as well in his video, or he said something similar. But he said, like, the people you've got all these, like, really friendly people. Like, well, they don't need to do friendly in that, because they are friendly. But you've got all these friendly community on Instagram, Facebook. But then you've got this other side of really what it actually is it is survival of the fittest. It is kind of looking out for yourself at the end of the day. It doesn't mean you can't be friends with other resellers. It doesn't mean you can't form relationships and chat about reselling and, enjoy other people's company or anything. But at the end of the day, when all's said and done, you have to be looking out for your stuff. It's only like, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 years ago, whatever, when you had a family to look after, and let's say you were like a head of a tribe or whatever, or you were the head of your kind of family unit, you would have to, if you were a man, you would have to go out there with a spear, and you'd have had to get one of the smilodons, you know, one of the bloody saber-toothed cats or whatever, maybe mammoths, I don't know, maybe mastodons, I don't know, but you would have had to go out, you would have had to get one, you would have had to bring it back. And if you didn't do it, you wouldn't eat, you know? So that's... and people think that the times have changed and stuff just because we're intellectual. But all that's really happened is that kind of primal instinct has changed from being an instinct of, oh, I've got to kill to get food, to, oh, I've got to be a little bit clever with this in business, or I've got to be clever in this in my chosen field, so that then I can maybe get to the top, or maybe just survive, you know. But inside all of us, there's that little thing, and it's just flicked the switch from a very primal instinct to now more of an intellectual pursuit of trying to get to the top intellectually, or trying to play the game like a game of chess, as I've mentioned before. You know, I like this kind of thing of trying to play the game of chess with business and stuff, and trying to think, what can I do to keep going, and to just do different things, you know. So yeah, it's very interesting. Anyway, I've rambled on that so long. I will move down the chat now. I think whatever area you are in, as long as you are prepared to work hard at it and have a little bit of luck along the way, you'll make a success of it. Yeah, very true. That's exactly, you know. And I know some people say about luck, like, not being a thing and stuff, but I do think sometimes you can just genuinely get lucky, you know. Sometimes, like, you'll go into a charity shop, it'll just be right time, right place, and there'll be something there, you know, for you. But I know there's a lot of these big business guys who don't really believe in luck and stuff, and in a way you kind of do make your own luck, but you know, like, if you didn't go to the charity shop, you wouldn't have found it there. But at the same time, sometimes I just feel like it is kind of just lucky that you were there at the time, you know. But yeah, so I'll just quickly go down the chat. I'd watch your courses, ads, resells. There's always something new you can learn, no matter what your experience level are. Yeah, it is true. I mean, as I say, there are, I mean, the how to list an item on eBay course, that is really beginner, so I wouldn't advise, like, anyone, if you know how to list an item on eBay, you know, like, pretty well, like, using item specifics and stuff and all the rest of it, then you don't need to watch that one. But the rest of them, there are a couple of good ones in there to watch. You won't need to watch the how to register a business one if you've already got your business registered. But yeah, really, really happy. I've seen group reselling meets on YouTube, and it made me vomit a little. My competitive edge would have totally kicked in. Yeah, I say, yeah, I mean, if I went to well, I say that because I met Caroline and Phil ages ago, and there's a video on my channel, I think it's called, like, Meeting the Celtic Traders or something. But I thought it'd be really weird, like, going around a charity shop with another reseller, but it really wasn't. Like, there wasn't any real competitive element. However, I get what you're saying, because if you're in a charity shop with 5 or 10 other resellers, I would imagine there is a bit of competition in there, but I would embrace the competition, you know. I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be necessarily, like, chucking it out the window or anything. I'd just be like, yeah, let's see if I can beat these other guys, and see if I can get more, like in my own mind, because I like to have competitions with people in my own mind, even though I know they don't really care, even though I know it doesn't really matter to them what I do or what I don't do, or it doesn't really matter to them, you know, to me, if they succeed or fail or whatever. You know, in that way, I still like to have these little competitions. So I'd be like, right, let's see, you know, oh, Nick's over there. Let's see if I can't beat him in terms of value of items and stuff. It's just interesting, you know. It's just kind of that, again, it's kind of that, like, little survival of the fittest, that kind of primal instinct inside it. Oh, you know, can I beat these people? But, you know, in all honesty, I'd like to see Nick, or I'd like to see Tom or whatever. I wouldn't mind if they succeeded, you know, because, I mean, they have the experience level anyway, so it's right that they succeed at it. But at the same time, there would be that kind of element, you know, like, oh yeah, can I do that competition? Can I beat these out? Can I get the most value of stuff or something? And I think it is quite natural to have that, but it's also kind of, you've got to think to yourself, well, it is only a little bit of competition element, and in the grand scheme of things, if you go out with a few resellers to one charity shop and you don't get anything, it's not the end of the world, you know. It was just little, you know, you got to treat it for what it is. It's just a meet up. You're going there to meet the resellers. You're not going there to have, you know, to get a load of stock and to beat everyone out or anything. You're just simply going there to meet these people that you've kind of talked to or whatever. So you've got to kind of remember that in the back of your mind as well, and balance the two. You know, it's nice to have a bit of friendly competition. It's nice to have a bit of competition or whatever. But you've always got to be grounded. You've always got to think, well, actually, have I come here specifically to compete? And if the answer in that situation maybe is not really, I've come here to meet who I would consider my friends or whatever, then you've got to think, well, let's rein it in a bit. You know, I'll still be competitive, but I'll just rein it in a little bit. But the good thing about competition is if you don't tell anyone, this is what I like. I don't tell anyone. I like not telling anyone I'm going to compete. And then, if I beat them, I can have that satisfaction in my own mind, but then I've not told them, so they don't feel necessarily like they've lost or anything. However, in my mind, I'm thinking, yay, I've won, kind of it, you know what I mean? So, it's kind of like, oh, well, they don't need to be sad about it, even if I win, you know, if in that situation. So sometimes I don't really tell anyone I'm competing, even though I am. Well, sometimes it's just an automatic process. Like, I will just compete. Like, I just sometimes, like, I have to compete. It's just like, I can't not compete, you know. It's just, I just love it. It's like that thrill of it, you know. But anyway, we'll go down the chat. Moneyman Cult, not sure which Ken you are looking for, but if it's Ken Chapman, he uses his name for his channel. Yeah, it's Ken Chapman. Do you not know Ken Chapman? Well, to be honest, he probably wasn't around when you started, but there's always something new. Oh, no, I've already said that. Got it. Oh, right, he's found the channel. Brilliant. One sec. Oh, is that everything in the chat? Oh, brilliant. Cool. One of my subscribers is a charity shop manager, but he always does me good deals. Yeah, you see, I mean, a lot like as I was saying, one of my friends or one of the charity shop managers I know, he's watched a few of my videos. I tell him like exactly what I'm gonna get for the item, and then literally now we're so like cool with it that I'll be like, look, I can't pay it, and then he'll just say, right, well, could you do it? Like, say it's like, so sometimes I'll pay a little bit more than I would normally. Like, okay, let's say it's £20 item, I pay like £4 or £5 for it. Whereas really, I'd like to make, like minimum, I'd like to get it for, £2 or £3, something like that. But, it's still a good margin. It's still a very good margin. So, I'll just say, if he's got it, stick it up at a tenner and it's been in the charity shop for a week or two or whatever, I'll say, look, that goes for 20 quid on eBay. Would you mind, giving me it for this price? Or, could you do me a deal on it? And we're very easy with it now. It's just like, yeah, I'll give it you for X price and stuff. But yeah, it's quite nice having that kind of relationship, in the charity shops, and it is quite easy to build up. Like, all you have to do is talk to people in the charity shops. But this is all going to be coming up in my charity shop video anyway, my charity shop tips video. So not tips, charity shop, the pros and cons and charity shops. It's going to be all coming up in a few months in that video anyway. The only problem about doing these videos, scheduling them out, is that I tell you, oh look, there's a new video coming out, and it won't come out for bloody 2 months, will it? So anyway, what's Ken's YouTube channel? Oh yeah, there it is. I've already read that. Sorry, I thought I was down the chat. I'm organising a meetup in Ad's local auction house. Really? When he's next bidding, if anyone fancies it. You're not, are you? Bloody, no, you're not. Don't say you are. Bloody hell, that'd kill me. Jesus. No, I don't know when the next auction is. I know it's in April sometime, but God. No, please don't do that, Andy. It'd kill me, for God's sake. It'd kill me. I am getting through the stock at the lockup, but I need those auctions. Just give me a month. Let me stock up in April from the auction house. And then you can do a meet-up at the auction, like in May or something. But God, don't kill me. Don't kill me. Well, here's me saying this, like, oh yeah, you know, I think it's best that you have these multiple income streams so you don't rely on anything. And here's me saying, oh God, it'd kill me if you went to the auction house. So I'm not really practicing what I preach, but give me about 5 years and I definitely will. I'm still in the process of building a lot of these things, but yeah, yeah, I definitely, I mean, I say it'd kill me. I could just go to another auction house anyway, but it's just going there and stuff, because I like the Knutsford one. It's nice. You know, it's just, easy, you know, it's just easy there. But you know, saying that, I could always go to the other one I used to go to, but it's not as the quality of the stuff isn't as good there, so you know. Anyway, I'll quickly have another look at the chat. I don't think there's anything. Oh, I better get going anyway because we're over an hour. Yeah, don't think there's anything else up there. You filled your storage unit up yet? Monumental, he's saying. I thought you meant me. I picked it up for free. I did indeed. It's in most of his vids now. Why? What's in most of his vids? Oh, yeah, the PewDiePie TV. Yeah, it is. It's in most of his vids now. Yeah, I watch him every now and then. Has he beat T-Series yet or not? I don't know whether he's like actually beat him or not yet, but I really want PewDiePie to get to 100 million subs before T-Series, and then T-Series can take him over. But I really want him to get to 100 million. And then that's it. That's cool. Because I'd love PewDiePie to be like the first person to get to 100 million subs, and then that'd suit me. I just like him. I think he's cool. He's got, like, I understand why he's got that level of subs, because the like level of work he puts in, like, as someone who does like very rudimentary editing on my own videos, I know that he has an editor. I know his editor's what, Andy or something, or no, Blad, that's his name, is the editor. But even so, like, even like the pair of them, like Blad and PewDiePie, or Blad and Felix, like, even for two of them to do 7 videos a week and do that level of editing and do that level of like content creation in terms of like the new ideas and stuff, it's just insanity, you know. And they've been doing like 7 days a week for ages now. God knows how they don't get burnt out, you know. But they're just smashing it, you know. So yeah, I just admire kind of what he's done, and also like he's very, very good on camera. Like he's just got a lot of charisma, you know, a lot of charm, and that's what's made him get up there, and rightly so. And his adaptability is very, very admirable too, because he's adapted from various different video formats of doing gaming videos and all different other ones, and vlogs, and you know, all the rest of it, and then doing like commentary videos and stuff like that. So his kind of adaptability is really good. I always look at PewDiePie and I think that's kind of the mentality of success. That's kind of the mentality that you need, because it doesn't really matter what he's necessarily doing. He kind of turns it into a success, you know, which is even if it kind of is almost, it seems like it's failing. Sometimes he'll brush it off, and he'll kind of even like with his level of charisma or charm or whatever, he'll kind of make people believe it's a success anyway, you know. So even if it might not be a success, so it's very, very interesting. I really do admire his kind of yeah, just everything really with him. I think he's brilliant. But you know, that being said, there's a lot of other guys on YouTube that I really admire as well, like Ethan Klein from H3H3. Like, he's awesome. Like, I don't know how, because I look at YouTubers in a different way than like the average viewer, because I always look at the editing. I look at the editing, and I listen to what the people are saying. Like, I know like Ethan does his own editing. So I know from that he's had to put a crap ton of work in, because not only is he at one point he was doing like 5-6 videos a week with I think it's his wife now, Hila, and you know, not only is he doing that, but he's doing this incredible editing that is like, his editing's good. His editing is really good. You know, some of the things he does I could probably do, but then other things I couldn't do yet. And I know how long it takes me to edit a video, and I'm like, I don't do the things that he does. Now, granted, he's probably got a lot faster at it over the years kind of thing, but still, it's a lot of editing that he does and stuff. So I look at YouTubers, like, when I find a new YouTuber, it's only the same as, like, when I found George on YouTube. Like, when I watched his first video, I was like, whoa, he's done pretty good editing for his first video, you know, like, I don't know, probably some other things better than me, and I was thinking, like, wow, you know, okay, I'm definitely on board with this, you know, because I'm looking at behind the editing. I can see, oh, right, he's put a lot of work into this, you know, or he's wanted to firmly stamp his mark on his channel straight away with what he wants, you know. So then I look at that and I think, right, okay, I'm on board with this person, you know. And that's what I try and do with my videos, but the problem is I just don't have enough time. I mean, I'd absolutely love to go proper crazy, you know, I mean, I'd love to do like 12-hour days editing and just getting like proper cool sound effects and doing loads of cool visual effects and everything, but I've just not got the time to do that. Anyway, Electra's here now, so I'll just let her out. Nope. There you go, you can go out now, or you can go out the door, I'll get her out in a sec. So yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there because I'm rambling now, aren't I? I'll just very quickly have a look in the chat and then we will go. One of my oh, I've already mentioned that. Oh wait, and I still write down the chat. I'm still writing down the chat here. Oh, Southwest Sellers. Hi Eds in chat. Very late as loads of packaging this morning. No worries. I am just gonna leave in a sec, but I will just very quickly look down the chat just to see if there's anything else. Emma's in the chat. Hi there, Emma. Hey all. Are you on the meetup? I'm pretty local. Where to? Oh right. What is there a meetup in Wolverhampton now? I thought, but hang on, wait. Isn't there a meetup going on in Bristol? And there's now what, a meetup going on in Wolverhampton or something? Is that right? My God, there's a lot of meetups going on. Bloody hell. Right. I'll go down and just see here. God, don't look at my editing. No, it does. I'm not saying that editing makes like. You know, it doesn't. If you don't edit your videos, it doesn't mean you're not working hard as a content creator or anything like that. Because the ideas themselves and stuff take quite a lot of effort. But certainly, I always look to editing to kind of. That's kind of my indicator of how hard someone's working at it, because that's kind of the way I've gone down with my videos with the editing and stuff. Like I've learned Wondershare. You know, well, first I did. First I was doing like Movie Maker, I think, and then I changed over to Wondershare, and then I made the big leap to Premiere Pro, which was, God, understanding that was very hard. And you know, now I've got a good repertoire. I can do quite a good bit of stuff. You know, I'm not anywhere near like some of these big guys of editing, but I can do a fair bit of stuff, you know. I can do a lot of green screen, I can do a lot of visual effects, I can do changing colours of things, I can do changing positioning of stuff, I can do cuts, I can do, you know, all these different things. But you know, like I always look, if I can, basically, if I know that I can't do something, like I can't do an editing trick in someone's video that I'm watching, I'm like, wow, okay, this is good. I always think about, hang on, how did he do that? Or how did she do that? And then I'll be like, right, I need to learn that. You know, I always have that think, like, I need to learn it now, you know? Because I really want to learn the whole visual effect of putting, I've said this before as well, and I've still not researched it, but putting like shining eyes, you know, like when you're like a god or something. I want to wear, like, in one of my comedy shorts that I've got planned, I want to wear like a robe and stuff and like act as if I'm God kind of thing. I know it's very egotistical. It sounds really egotistical, but it's actually not, because I'm not actually acting as God in terms of myself, like ads as God. I'm acting as God as actual God, in relation to looking down upon me kind of thing. So it's not actually that egotistical. But no, I want to do like shining eyes, you know, like white shining eyes. But I don't know how you do it, because you'd have to, I suppose you'd have to like do it in key, what's the word? Is it key light or keychain or something? Key light or keychain in Premiere Pro. I've not learnt it yet. But where you can basically like cut out the eyes, and then you can put inside them like shining white, and then what you can do is you can track it frame by frame, and then it'll look like your eyes are white when they're moving around. But I really need to look into that key. I think it's key light, but I'm not sure. But that's like, that'll be like days of learning just on its own, I would imagine. You know, it'd take quite a while. So yeah, it's just one of those things, you know, all these different things that I want to do, and You know, it's just so hard to fit it all in, you know, it's so hard to fit it all in, but I'll do it at some point. Anyway, I will get going now. Just very quickly here, check out the meetup website, it's good. Oh wow, there's actually like a website for the meetup, that's awesome. So I'll just quickly check off that we've done the things that we wanted to do. So yeah, 40 likes, so if you haven't already liked it, please do give it a like. Don't forget, 20% off the merch in the description. Use that code TT Special. Again, it'll all be in the description down there for you. So yeah, if you are a member of the Thursday Talks Inner Circle, and if you're watching this right now, you are a member of the Thursday Talks Inner Circle. So yeah, if you are a member of the Thursday Talks Inner Circle, you get 20% off. It is expiring on Sunday, so if you buy, basically you have to buy it in the next 3 days, otherwise it expires. But yeah, 20% off the merch, which as you can see, I'm rocking here. With that being said, we've also covered a little bit on income streams as well, so I think we're about done for today. If there's any more questions or comments, I'll stick around for like a minute longer, but I really best get going now because we're way over the hour. But yeah, so with that being said, it doesn't look like there's any more questions. Do more on Meetup. Yeah, I don't think there's any more questions. Oh, KLC Reselling says, Premiere Pro is brilliant. Can do so much once you get your head around it. Yeah, you can do like Premiere Pro, like compared to any, I say any other editing software. I don't know about Final Cut. I think Final Cut's good. But aside from any other editing software, Premiere Pro or pretty much any is really, really good, you know. And then if you use Premiere Pro in conjunction with After Effects, which I've not learnt yet, then that is like a crazy combination. But also what you can do is, because I learnt Photoshop early last year, I think it was early last year, I can do like graphics in Photoshop, which I've not even tried doing this properly yet, but I can do graphics in Photoshop, and then like logo graphics, or maybe like other, like I suppose I could try animated graphics, because I kind of know how to do them a little bit. But I could do graphics in there, and then I could export that to Premiere. Then I could put some animation effects and stuff, or just some like movement effects on it. Then export that video as an intro. Then put the intro into one of my videos, and then I've got an animated intro that is a lot more, you know, kind of professional, because I've done it in Photoshop, and I've done it professionally in Photoshop, then I've done it in Premiere Pro. If you were to just do a text intro in Premiere Pro, you've not got the same repertoire of tools that using Photoshop and Premiere in conjunction with each other would actually allow you to have. So yeah, that's what I kind of want to try and do more of, but you might see some of that, I don't know, at some point. But yeah, so I will leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for joining. As I say, like it down below if you did indeed like it. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. So I will see you probably, I think probably the next video is tomorrow. It usually is on a Friday. So yeah, probably a sales update or something coming out tomorrow. And yeah, I will see you very soon.